Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a tutorial and review on some new LA Color products. I am so excited to be testing these babies out. These are their new little booklets. I think this is like such a cute little idea. They actually went ahead and sent these to me. I love LA Colors because they always have really affordable stuff, and their stuff is really good. Their Truly Matte Foundation is one of my favorites for the drugstore. They just have really bomb stuff. So when they sent these over, I was like, hell yeah. So I'm gonna go through them. We're gonna start off with our eyeshadows because that's where we start off, and then we can go into the bronzer and the highlight little palette, and then the blush palette. So I went ahead and received the eyeshadow palette in Nude, and it looks like this, very beautiful. I mean, this looks like really good quality, just like the packaging and everything for something that's so affordable. As you can see, it has those very neutral shades that we all love and adore. And then they have a more fun palette called the LA Colors Eyeshadow Holographic Palette. This one has more of those like fun colors that you can really do some fun creative looks with. If you guys have watched one of my videos on LA Color products, I reviewed their little eyeshadow quads and I told you guys how great they were. So if you haven't watched that video already, then I would really recommend, especially if you're somebody that's on a budget looking for a really good palette that's super duper affordable, go check that video out because I love those little shadows and they're just such a good quality. I will link it up here. But I just want to go ahead and get started. But I kind of want to use both palettes because it's just like such a good situation. I think I'm going to use the browns that are in here, like the matte shadows, and then mix it with maybe the green or the gold. This holographic palette mainly has like more of the shimmer colors as opposed to the Nude palette, which has a mixture of mattes and shimmers. So let's go ahead and get this party started. Okay, so first things first, I'm going to go ahead and take my Urban Decay eyeshadow potion, and I'm going to just apply some primer. And then I go in with this little brush by Morphe, and I just kind of pack it all over. Okay, so first I'm gonna take this gorgeous Nude palette, and we're going to just dive into a more neutral shade. So we're gonna go in with that shade first. It's kind of like a more cool tone brown. And we're just gonna start placing that on our crease. And we're gonna do a more simple look today, because I feel like I've done a lot of looks that are kind of a little bit more intense, but I kind of want to do something that can be a little faster to do. Like always, I'm just taking it and really expanding it upwards. And I like this cool toned brown because I feel like it really complements my complexion and it almost like contours my eye. I always like to start off with the lighter shade and then gradually take it up to a darker shade, because you would rather like start off with a shade that you know you can build onto as opposed to start with a really dark shade and be like, oh my god, I didn't want to go here, but I went here. So there we go. So I think I'm gonna go in with this dark color, which is a little tiny bit cooler. And also it's always fun to play around with the dark shades because I feel like you can really see their performance. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just kind of going to pat it into the crease tightly, because right in the immediate crease is where I like to give it the illusion of having like a shadow, and kind of like having something where it can look like it has depth. So I just really like to target the immediate crease when you have hooded eyes like me with that dark shadow. This is looking really, really good. And we're not gonna take that color all the way in because we don't want this to get too smoky over here. So we just kind of wanna leave it in this midsection so that when you're looking straight ahead, that's where you kind of see the depth start to be created. And you can still use the same brush, like a fluffy blender, because you're honestly just going to be patting it back and forth until you get that full potential. And then I'm gonna go in with my smaller little guy. This is my M506 that I always like to talk about with you guys. I love this brush to really get in there and blend everything. Then I'm gonna take a big fluffy guy. This is my Delium Tools, and I'm going to blend this out into the color that we worked with in the beginning. So you really kind of want to focus on diffusing that outer edge. The only thing I wish these little palettes had was a mirror. That'd be really cool so that I could be looking at the mirror instead of this big mirror that I have in front of me. So now we're going to be taking the Holographic palette and we are going to be going in with this gorgeous gold right here. I think that's the perfect color for today's look. Especially because I feel like I've been doing a lot of green. I kind of want to do some gold. And if we feel like the gold could have a little bit more on it, we could always pack on a little bit of green. But we're gonna see how it performs. I'm gonna be taking my MAC 242. This is not a surprise to anybody. You guys know I love this. And now we're gonna begin packing on that gold color. These are typically the type of looks that I like to do on an everyday basis. Not an everyday, but like when I wanna do a more fuller, done up makeup look, because I feel like these colors really complement my complexion. So I like to play around with the golds and the browns, and I feel like it doesn't look like I'm like doing the most, but it still looks like I'm polished and put together. And we're just putting that all over the lid. It has really good pigmentation. I like how it has like almost like a glitter reflex on it. The shadow feels very lightweight. It doesn't feel like a heavy consistency. It's not like patchy or anything like that. It has really good pigmentation considering that we don't have any type of MAC Fix Plus on there. So that is something positive. So this is really beautiful. I love how that gold looks. I'm so happy I went with the gold instead of the green because I feel like the green would have been a little too dark for you guys to really see. But I mean, the green looks fantastic. And then these other top colors are fun shades. These colors up here, to me, they're kind of more like summer, spring colors, mainly spring colors, reminds me of like Easter. And then these bottom colors are very fall-esque. It would have been really cool if they did shimmers, like if these top ones were a little bit more on the like dark theme, just because we're like in fall and winter. But nonetheless, they're so stunning. And I'm really excited to kind of go in with these other ones right here. But right now what I'm gonna go ahead and do is finish this eye because this part of the eye is pretty much done. As you can see, we only use 3 shadows. They work so well together. The look is just very like polished and it looks like high-end makeup. Like the shadows work so great. You guys saw how they blended and I'm just like, look at that blend right there. That's a good blend. So I went ahead and finished the eye makeup and I'm so obsessed. I don't do this like every day, but like when I wanna, you know, do a full face, I usually do my golds and my browns and I just feel like it's beautiful. Like I'm so impressed with how good the shadows look and how bright they pop. So those shadows are a good situation. Now we're gonna move on to the highlight and bronzer palettes. So this one is the more fair skin. So this is more for my fair skin ladies. As you can see, the tones are very nice and very complimentary for a lot of fair skin tones. And this bronzer shade is also very complimentary for more fair skin tones. But like I mentioned, the bronzer is more on the like shimmery side. So it's like a highlighter type of consistency. And this one is more for like medium skin tones. So that's just something to note. I wish they had a third one for my more deeper skin tones because I feel like these colors may be a little too light for my deeper skin tone. So I would love for LA Colors to do that next. But overall, I feel like they should continue expanding these little makeup booklets because I think that this is a really great idea. So we are going to go in with, which one? I think we're gonna go in with this one, the one that's a little bit darker. I do kind of like the bronzer in here more. I feel like that, let's try that one actually. I'm gonna be taking my IT Cosmetics brush and we're gonna be going in with the one from the Fair Skinned little palette and see how that does. Maybe it'll be too light. For me, I don't like my bronzer to be too dark. But we can always go ahead and layer and see how it works. So like I mentioned, this is from the more fair-skinned palette. You could probably go a little bit darker because it's giving me a very, very subtle bronziness. So let's go ahead and take this one. That's the fun thing about these, that you can really play around with them. This one is definitely more of a darker bronzer. So it's kind of picking up a little orangey, so I'm hoping it's not too orangey, but it's not too bad once you kind of blend it in. I think I personally would probably go in with the one from the more fair skin palette because I just kind of like a more subtle bronzer, but since I already went in with this one, I'm just gonna make sure that I blend it well. Luckily, this IT Cosmetics brush, number 8 brush, is really good at diffusing out anything if it's a little too unblended. But this one did do a good job of warming up my face, as you can see. So maybe if I was a little bit tanner, it would be like perfection, but once you blend it out, it does. And then I want to come in a little closer to my mirror and see how it looks. Wow, it actually gives it a really pretty shimmer. I never really have used a like shimmery bronzer, so this was kind of a first for me, but now looking up close, it gives it a pretty shimmer. I was kind of worried that it was going to be like bam in your face, but it's kind of like a radiance from within. Like when you shift your face, it kind of gives you a glow. I don't know how I feel about that color though. I feel like it's a little too red, like I mentioned, for me. So I would probably use very little of that one and then go in with the one that is more light, this one. So before we move on to the highlight, I want to go into the blush palette. So we got 2 blush palettes here. The first one is more of those like deeper colors, which I really like this one. I feel like for deeper complexions, these are very complimentary. The only one that maybe wouldn't be so complimentary would be these, like this top one. I feel like you can mix these and it'll be great. So you get one matte one, which is this lighter pink one, and then these 3 are kind of shimmery. So you can use the matte pink one and set it down first and then go in with the other ones and kind of like mix them together and, or like top them with it, and that would look really nice. So you get that situation right there. And then you get this lighter one, which is really pretty as well. And with this one, I think you have, I think they're all kind of, actually I can't tell. Does it tell me in the back? They look a little bit less shimmery than the other palettes, as you can see right there, but they're still very beautiful. They're very, very beautiful. I don't know why, but this one's like calling my name. So I think I'm gonna go ahead, and it's so hard when you have so much to choose from. Actually, you know what? I think I'm gonna go in with the darker palette, and I'm gonna take this shade right here. I'm gonna be taking my usual blush brush. So we're gonna be going in with this. Ooh, that is pigmented. And maybe taking a little bit, not too much. That's pretty. That's a pretty blush. I like it a lot. And it blended perfectly into my foundation. It wasn't like patchy, it didn't break apart. It looks like it's coming from like within. It doesn't look like it's a layer of powder laying on top. It looks really pretty. And then there's this one, which is definitely a little bit darker than the one that we just went in from the darker palette. I'm gonna take a little bit of this one right here, which is a little bit of a darker situation. It does have a little bit of shimmer, unlike the one that we just used. And I kind of want to put it on top and see what happens. Because I feel like that's why I like little blush palettes, is because you have like a mixture of a matte and a shimmer, so you can kind of use both of them and like put a little bit of shimmer on top to kind of get the situation a little bit more like, I don't know how to describe, a little bit more fun. Like if you want to go like a little bit more fierce, I feel like it adds like a little bit more color if you felt like it was like a little too light just by the matte by itself, and it gives it a pretty good shimmer, as you can see. So those were the blush palettes. Definitely like these, and I like the fact that you can mix and match the 4 shades in each palette, and they just look really nice on the skin. Like it honestly looks like it's coming from within. It doesn't look like you're wearing a product on top. I hate those blushes where it looks like you're wearing this powdery product on top of your skin. So now we can move on to the fun part, which is the highlighters. So we have different types of highlighters in here. You guys saw when I was doing the bronzer, you have these beautiful ones. This palette is so pretty. Like this is definitely more for my complexion. As you can see, the colors are more complementary. And we also have this one, which is the more fair one. And you can see this one also has very beautiful shades. They look like they're gonna perform really well, so I have really high expectations. But these are definitely more for my fair skin lady. because it has like that white shade, which I think it's always perfect to have a white shade included, because I feel like for more fair skinned people, it definitely benefits them a lot, because I know that it can be hard to find a good highlighter that doesn't look like you have something on top, but more so looks like you have that radiance from within. As for this one, I also feel like these colors are just, this one in particular, I think I'm gonna use this one. I keep looking at it and I'm like, that's calling my name. So let's go ahead and use our Milani brush. And we're gonna take this one right here. Oh my God, I'm so excited. Oh my God, that's so amazing. That is bomb. LA Colors, you just won my little heart. Look at that highlight. That is a good situation. And that is definitely more on the gold side, so it really complements my skin right now. I do have a little bit of texture. My skin's going through something, but overall the highlight is blinding, and it's not like chalky or like, it looks good. Okay, so this concludes the look for today. I really hope that you guys enjoyed this. I really quickly want to talk about these new LA Colors little booklets, these little makeup beauty booklets. I want to start off by saying that I'm really excited and impressed by these. They are so nice. I have to say that the shadow ones are absolutely amazing. Like, they are so good. They need to come out with more of these little shadow palettes because I think they're absolutely phenomenal. I didn't mention this earlier, but all these little palettes, each one retails for $6. $6, guys, that's a really good deal. You are getting a good quantity of shadows in here. They work very well, and I feel like this is a type of palette that I know a lot of people reach for. It has those nice warm shades, a little bit of cool, it has your mattes, your shimmers, it has everything you need to really create a beautiful, everyday, even dressed up like night look. You can do it with this palette, especially if you're on a budget and you're looking for good quality eyeshadow that isn't so expensive. I would say check out the LA Colors. Like I mentioned, you can go to your general dollar, or you can also go online on LA Colors and order it through there, and you are going to love this situation. It's also so small and travel friendly, so you can literally just take this on the go. You can take this when you travel. It doesn't occupy so much space. The other shadow palette, which is the Holographic palette, is so nice too. This one mainly focuses on the shimmers, and I have to say the shimmers in here are absolutely amazing. I just love how it went on to my lids. Like one swipe and it was like bright pigmentation there, and if you want to enhance them even more, you can go in with some MAC Fix Plus or a spray, and it's not going to damage the eyeshadow. It's going to make them pop even more than you could ever imagine. Also, I know some people hate when there's like a lot of fallout in the pan, and there's not really that much fallout in this pan. So now I want to talk about the highlight and bronzer palettes. I like the fact that these highlights are so intense and fierce. I'm so impressed with them, and I'm so happy they came out with this. Like, I'm getting these four little guys for $6, and look at this quality. Like, do I need to say anything more? No. The only thing I don't like about these, that I'm not the biggest fan of, is that the bronzer shade is a shimmer. I wish that the bronzer shades in these was a matte, because I feel like for me personally, I like more of that matte finish. Now, I can't take away the fact that the shimmer in these look absolutely beautiful. I was scared that it would be like blinding shimmer, but it's not. It's a more subtle shimmer, and it kind of gives it a good distribution of color and glow to your face, especially if you have a more matte foundation finish and you kind of want to add a little bit more radiance. This definitely adds that. Or if you're somebody that has dry skin that's wanting to look more luminous, then you probably will enjoy these bronzers that have a little bit of that shimmer, because it will give you more of that glow onto your skin. Now I'm going to move on to the blush palettes. So I really like these blush palettes. I feel like these blush palettes are so cute, and they have some really pretty shades in here. You have a good distribution between like some lighter pinks to some like more vibrant pinks, and then you have like this really good peachy neutral shade, which I think is always essential. They blend so well onto the skin and look absolutely stunning, and I live for that. And then for the darker one, you have some pretty ones too. You have some shimmers, you have the matte. It's always fun to mix and match the matte and shimmers because you get a really pretty highlight situation. So overall, I have to say, I think these little guys are so worth it. I love the packaging. I love the concept. I love that there's so much to play with in one little palette for $6. I'm just like, LA Colors, you always win my heart because everything about these is so cute. I'm also going to be probably doing another tutorial using these because, I mean, this is a good situation. So stay tuned for that. And if you guys enjoyed watching this video, please give it a big thumbs up. Lets me know to continue doing these videos. I will have the LA Colors website linked down below so that you guys can go check them out. Please don't forget to subscribe. I would love for you to become a member of our family here on YouTube because I wouldn't want you guys to miss my videos for the world. And yeah, so I'll be seeing you guys very, very soon for a brand new video. Bye guys.